Hi, I'm David Beidel from Staten Island, pastor here in New Hope Community Church, and here with Glenn Barth from Good Cities, and just taking in a view of the city here. Real excited about what God is doing in Staten Island lately. We're really seeking to be one church in Staten Island, working together to see our city of 600,000 reached for Jesus Christ. So one of our mottos is to reach everyone and disciple every willing. And so we meet together as pastors, and we're seeking to implement an Acts 1:8 kind of a strategic plan where each one of us seek to reach our Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the ends of the earth. And so one of the ways we're doing it is we're taking, some of you might know about the Pray New York emphasis of praying for every zip code in New York City. We're trying to take that up a notch in Staten Island, so that we would that would be a consistent prayer paradigm where every church would cover the zip code in prayer, even share, create a grid in the zip codes to pray for the different neighborhoods surrounding a church, so that at the end of the day, in 2 years, we want to see every single street in Staten Island and house in Staten Island covered in prayer, eventually visitation and gospel engagement. So we're excited about that going forward. And then for our Judea Commission, we're really seeking, one of the simplest aspects is every church is seeking to adopt one school to start to take back some of the cross sections in Staten Island. We have several initiatives we're working on. That's the easiest to articulate. Every church adopt one school, and that's been going forward well. And then our third is Samaria, that every church would adopt one of the housing projects in our community. There's about 12 housing projects in Staten Island, and if you know anything about the housing projects in different cities, they're the most broken and places of multi-generational devastation. So we're seeking to really bring the gospel of Christ there, and working collaboratively with as many organizations as we can. Young Life and Metro World Child and Child Evangelism Fellowship and whoever else will help us to really make a difference in these communities. So we're seeing a lot of exciting things happening. And for the ends of the earth, we're all doing our own overseas ministries. We have a ministry in India, and many churches already do. But one day we're praying, what would it look like if a church, like a city of Staten Island, for instance, would, after working together and learning how to work together as an Acts 1:8 community, would adopt one nation overseas, and the united force of a church from one city would impact a nation or a city across the seas. So we're excited to see what that might look like in the future. But right now, we would appreciate your prayers for us. We see God doing a sweet thing as the people of God begin to work together. We see His promise fulfilled, that as we gather in His name, as we operate as one man contending for the faith, as we seek to be perfectly one with one another, we see God manifesting His glory and revealing His favor to us. So it's been exciting. I've recently written two books that kind of express a lot of what we're trying to do. One is Samaria, the Great Omission. It speaks about how sometimes we're more willing to serve in overseas and in Africa and Asia than we are sometimes in the housing projects around the block or a couple miles down the road, or the trailer park in our region. So really trying to encourage. Imagine if every church in America adopted one Samaria, just really started to see things as a four-quadrant strategic plan. Jerusalem, our zip code, Judea, just how can we reach the cross sections of our culture, with schools and gathering the business leaders together and going after sex trafficking and eradicating that in our cities and taking care of the widows and the orphans. These are things we're trying to get going. And then the Samarias, if every church started to say, what is the Samaria near me? What is the place that is broken and blighted, a place that's been just devastated for generations, and really started to just take steps to pray and to share the gospel in word and deed. Imagine what could happen throughout our country. So that's one book, and the other is Saturate, which lays out what we're trying to do is strategically here to live out an Acts 1:8 as an Acts 1:8 community, as a coalition of churches and ministries in Staten Island.